As the global trade war intensifies, a number of countries are watching these developments with a great deal of anxiety.
As you know, since February, the United States has imposed tariffs on 70% of total EU trade with the United States. The scale and the scope of these measures is unprecedented. So our line has to be very clear. We will be firm. We do prefer a negotiated solution. This is why we're working closely with the US administration to get an agreement. And I had a good exchange with President Trump earlier this week to help move things forward. We're looking for a reliable framework from which we can keep building our common trade. So the message is clear. We stick to our principles. We defend our interests.
The United Nations International Trade Center says this move extends a period of uncertainty. It undermines long-term investment and creating further instability.
Adding to the uncertainty created by the tariffs and related trade measures, we're simultaneously seeing deep cuts in development aid, creating a dual shock for developing countries in the world of trade and aid. G7 countries, which together account for around 3/4 of all official development assistance, are set to slash their aid spending by 28% next year, compared to 2024 levels.
US President Donald Trump says August 1st remains effective date for US tariffs, but is open to extensions if countries make proposals to Washington, D.C.
I would say firm, but not 100% firm. If they call up and they say, would like to do something a different way, we're going to be open to that. But essentially, that's the way it is right now, yeah.
Some analysts say South Africa should not depend on America for its exports revenue. The U.S. is South Africa's second largest bilateral trading partner after China.
There is a direct connection between BRICS and the attitude of Trump towards the tariffs and even the date on which they are announced. Okay? However, from a South African point of view, there is another angle to it. Because from 2012, in our NDP, National Development Plan, it was already documented there that we should diversify our markets where we sell our goods. Had we followed that advice from day one, we wouldn't be in this mess because we were not supposed to be this dependent on Americans. And our dependency is not even that severe even today.
U.S. market is very key to us. The automotive industry, actually our lifeblood. I mean, in terms of our own revenue now, we get most of the revenue from them in a more sustainable way. In fact, they represent the bedrock of what sustains us in terms of revenue. The great majority of our revenue comes from them. I would say 60 to 65% of revenue comes from the automotive industry. Therefore, if it were to be affected, we will definitely going to have problems.
In addition to minerals, car parts and other manufactured goods, South Africa exports agricultural products to the US and stands to lose 35,000 jobs in the citrus industry if the tariffs take effect. Khayelihle, Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.